I still can't explain how I ended up on those stairs. I've lived in the same apartment building for 3 years. I know every creaky floorboard, every chipped tile in the hallways, every flickering light bulb the landlord swears he'll fix but never does. But those stairs, I'd never seen them before that night. It started around 11 p.m, after a long shift at work. I was exhausted, dragging myself up to the 3rd floor, when I noticed something strange at the end of the hallway. There was a door where there shouldn't have been one. It was plain, unmarked, blending seamlessly into the dingy beige walls, but I knew it wasn't supposed to be there. I stopped and stared at it, half expecting it to vanish if I blinked too hard, but it stayed. I thought about ignoring it. I even turned toward my apartment, ready to pretend I hadn't seen anything at all. But then I heard it, a faint sound coming from the other side of the door. A child laughing. I froze. It didn't make sense. No one in the building had kids, and that laugh, it wasn't playful. It was mocking, like it was daring me to open the door. Against every instinct, I reached for the knob. The second I touched it, a wave of cold ran through me, like stepping into a freezer. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow, spiraling staircase. The air smelled damp and metallic, like wet stone. The stairs spiraled downward, disappearing into the darkness below. There was no light, no sound beyond my own shallow breathing. I should have turned back. I should have slammed the door and gone to bed. But something about the stairs pulled me. I stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind me, plunging the staircase into darkness. My heart leapt and I fumbled for my phone. Turning on the flashlight, the stairs stretched endlessly below me, impossibly long, the walls damp and streaked with black mold. Every step I took echoed like a gunshot. I tried to convince myself this was just some maintenance area I'd never noticed, some hidden storage space. But deep down, I knew better. The air grew colder the further I descended, and the darkness seemed to press against the edges of my light. I lost count of the steps. It felt like I'd been walking for hours, but there was no end in sight, and then I heard it again. The laughter. This time it was louder, closer. "Hello?" I called, my voice trembling. The laughter stopped. I shone my flashlight ahead, but the beam seemed to dissolve into the shadows. That's when I noticed the walls. What I thought were streaks of mold were something else entirely. Handprints. Hundreds of them, small and pale, like they'd been pressed into the damp stone by countless tiny hands. They trailed downward, leading deeper into the dark. I turned to go back, but the stairs behind me were gone. The path upward had disappeared, swallowed by the same infinite blackness ahead. My only choice was to keep going. The laughter returned, louder now, echoing all around me. It wasn't one child anymore. It was dozens, overlapping, growing more frenzied with every step I took. And then I saw them. At the edge of my flashlight beam, shapes began to emerge. Small figures crouched on the stairs, their limbs bent at unnatural angles, their faces hidden in shadow. "Who's there?" I shouted, panic rising in my chest. The figures didn't move. They just watched. Then one of them lifted its head. Its face was wrong, blank, smooth, like a porcelain doll. But where its eyes should have been, there were gaping black voids. It smiled, its mouth stretching impossibly wide, and whispered, "You're not supposed to be here." I ran. I don't know how long I sprinted down those endless stairs, my flashlight flickering, the laughter chasing me. The figures moved now, crawling along the walls and ceiling, their distorted limbs bending in ways that made my stomach churn. Just when I thought I couldn't go any further, I stumbled onto a landing. There was a door. I didn't think, I just threw myself at it, yanking it open and tumbling through. I landed hard on the floor of my apartment hallway. When I looked back, the door was gone. For a moment, I just lay there, gasping for air, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. Everything looked normal again, the same dull walls, the same flickering lights. But as I stood, something caught my eye. My phone, Still in my hand was recording. Shaking, I hit play. The video was blurry, the sound distorted, but I could see them. The figures crawling toward me, their eyeless faces grinning. And then, just before the video cut out, one of them leaned into the frame, staring directly at the camera. "You'll come back," it whispered. "They always do."